Hello traders, P. Consington from Gold Medal Penny Stocks here today, and I want to talk to you about the stock chart for INBI, Infusion Brands International Incorporated, which is an OTCQB markets traded stock. So I mentioned this ticker the other day, yesterday in fact, and I pointed out several key things. The RSI is the first thing I pointed out, and I did mention that I was expecting it to cross above 50, which is technically considered the buy zone. And I also said to watch out for the 5-period RSI crossing over the 14-period RSI. That's generally a buy signal, and you'll notice that both of these things actually happened. So right now the RSI is looking really bullish. We're looking like we're gaining a lot of steam and short-term momentum. So the RSI is definitely turned in our favor as bulls. The next thing to point out is that the Bollinger Bands are still within the Keltner channels, and this is what's considered an extreme consolidation period. So we're seeing that the Bollinger Bands are really tight right now, which means that the stock is picking up volatility and could easily break out at any time. So we're watching for these blue bands right here, which are the Bollinger Bands, to crack outside of the Keltner channels, which are these more brown bands. And that will be a signal that we have a full-on breakout. The next thing I really want to point out today is that we saw record volume today with 227,685 shares traded, and you'll notice that we were also up 4.73%. So the fact that we had a green day while being on such high volume means that a lot of shares were accumulated today. And the reason why we only saw 4.73% today instead of much higher is that the market makers were playing games. They were naked shorting shares and just kind of taking advantage of shareholders here. So what we're expecting is to see some merger news soon, as per filings and speculation. So this would easily catalyze a huge run that market makers wouldn't be able to manipulate. And also, if we see any more buying pressure in general, there was a lot of plays running throughout the course of today. And if we just saw some more buying pressure that came over from some of the winnings of those stocks coming into INBI, we would easily see huge gains, and we'd be able to break out of this channel set by the market makers. So another thing I want to point out really quickly is that our parsar, which is these little blue dots here, I'm just going to circle a few of them quick so you can see what I'm talking about. These little parsar dots basically kind of tell you which direction the trend is going. And when they're on top of the price per share, that means that it's a good short. It's a good short sell. You should not be bullish on it. But you'll notice that when it hits the price per share is when it flips. So see here, it hit the price per share, and it flipped to being on top. And it's done that before here. Here it hit and it flipped below, which set a bullish trend. And so our parsar is currently at 0.059, and our price per share closed today at 0.0576. So as you can see, we're really close here to hitting that parsar, which will make a flip, which will signify a bullish trend in progress. So it's important to keep that in mind as we trudge forward. Next thing I want to point out is that the MACD is starting to look like it's diverging positively here, looking for that bullish crossover still. Things are starting to look really good in terms of the MACD, which is a short-term momentum indicator. Cum Dist pointing up, we're looking good here. And the CMF is still at 0.572, which is extremely bullish. And this indicator I just kind of put a square around. Considering 0.2 is bullish, 0.4 is very bullish, so 0.572, I'm just going to call that extremely bullish. We're looking good. That means generally retail is accumulating a lot of shares, which is obvious from today's price action. The other thing I want to point out is that the Williams %R is one indicator that we actually want to see being in the overbought category, which is up here above -20 up here. So when it's consistently in the overbought category, that's good in terms of short-term bullish momentum. And that's exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing a ton of buying action today, a ton of buys. They by far dominated the selling today. The bulls were in charge today. It's just the market makers kind of held it down in manipulation. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing where this to stay in the overbought category as we move on. And the final indicator I really want to talk about today is the tricks indicator. which is again kind of like the MACD in terms of being a short-term momentum indicator, where we flattened out here and we're looking to curl back up in my opinion soon and crossed over again bullishly. So keep this in mind that the chart's actually looking really bullish still, and today's RSI action is one of the most important indicators on this chart, as well as the volume. I mean, record volume in green is a huge sign of accumulation, and you know the old saying is that volume comes before price action, or before the price changes. So keep that in mind as we go into tomorrow. I'm not a financial professional, so please watch this video for entertainment purposes only, and don't use anything I said to solicit a buy or sell. Thanks. Good luck.